wet. And today on Pinpoint, like we always do, we have this time around an interview. I'm going to be speaking with someone shortly. And we're going to be looking at the country's movie industry, Nollywood, and seeing the way movies have been created. Well, not necessarily just Nollywood, Kannywood also too, because the report's been put out by the Bureau of Statistics showing us what exactly is going on with the country's movie industry. We also you can also join the conversation on WhatsApp 0809 597 5805. At some point, I'll open the phone lines also too for you to be part of the conversation. And I know a lot of you are wondering, but Twitter is up and running in my studio, and I see a lot of comments and people asking whether asking you people are tweeting, you people are violating suspension ban, and the comments are coming. This is going to be one of the busiest mornings on Twitter, because even the guys asking me, I'm wondering myself how they are, because I've tried to connect via the networks. I understand the ban took effect from midnight. So it'll be something for us to also think about. This will be a big talking point, if not a big curve in Nigeria's democratic journey, as well as questions around freedom of speech. All of this, I'm sure, in the days to come will be will form for great conversation. Right. So so while we prepare ourselves, I'm going to run you down through some of the information I got from the Bureau of Statistics, which put out this report about a fortnight ago. And it says that 416 movies were produced in the last 3 months, and that this figure is half, in fact, it's more than half the number, less than half the number, rather, from what we got in the last quarter of 2020. And then the agency didn't give a reason for the sharp fall, stated the decrease happened, the decline of 53.93%. Also says the number of movies produced in the first quarter of 2020 was 407. And interestingly, Lagos, where we are based in, had the highest number of movies produced by location the first quarter of 2021, with 149, closely followed by Onitsha, with 149, and Anambra, which had 140 movies. So large chunk of those movies which were done happened in Lagos State. But there have been reactions to this, and which is why we're having this interview also too. Big reactions have happened because during the lockdown, the movie industry did take a hit. Nearly, and this is because not just the fact that a number of people have pointed out, getting actors to work with social distancing protocols in place, almost unworkable in the way the scripts are interpreted. So that was just one problem which was mentioned. Another big problem is the cinemas. So cinemas in the chain of the movie production process produce more than half of the revenue. And because of the fear of COVID-19 and not to get it spreading, decided to shut down cinemas. And at some point they were opened, and then now they are shut again. So think about the impact that has on people who are working. Many people, unfortunately, haven't worked in the last year or thereabout, and even if they've gotten work, it's been very scanty. So that's the fate of the country's multi-billion dollars movie industry, and it's provided job for a lot of people. I mean, talking to a lot of people, and it is something for us to really, really think about, because if there's something that we need to begin to kickstart the economy, COVID and then post-COVID, we need to turn our attention to what is happening with the country's movie industry. So we have Sam Ojo with us now. I'm not sure your device is unmuted, so we can. We can't pick your audio up yet. But we'll fix that now. We'll fix it and then we'll get back to Sam Ojo. And Sam Ojo is a great guy. He's if you recollect, he was here a couple of weeks ago, months ago rather. He's a Nigerian American filmmaker, and he just got officially recognized by the governor of Oklahoma in the U.S. with a commendation during the VIP screening of a movie called Alejandro. It's what he did collaboration with Nigerian actors as well as American actors, and then Latino American actors. He's also produced indie movies and spun a city well known for art and culture in the country, as well as a major dining center, a UNESCO World Heritage. And his father was a renowned photographer in the 70s. The numerous known dramatists in the city acting skill mostly became a basic natural talent for many of the children growing up in the city around the late 1970s and the early 80s. He then decided to produce Alejandro to further put Nigeria's rich cultural heritage to the world. And so here's the one we're having the discussion with around the fortunes. We can compare and contrast pages since he's seen and done work, one during the COVID-19 period and been able to put that in, we understand, several cinemas in the United States. And then we can share some of that experience with the practitioners here in the country and see how, of what benefit, of what lessons that we can make happen here. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's Pinpoint, and we're going to have a real blunt and frank discussion shortly. Please stay with us on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The Voice Note on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It was why we sang and danced in the night, why we lit fires that burned through the night, why we chose a flag colored in freedom, for now we would be kings in this our kingdom. But our first head of state was Igbo, and the next, though a soldier, also Igbo. Then Angas ruled, followed by Hausa, and then came the turn of Yoruba. Then Hausa came back for a term cut short, when power was taken by an Hausa gunshot. Then Gwari claimed his turn to rule, but a mandate stolen was his downfall. Then Kanuri came, and it's quite probable that he'll still be ruling if not for that apple. Then Yoruba returned, not once, but twice. Then Hausa returned, but died in peace. Then they left us a while to worry and wonder. When it was over, Ijo had power, and after him came that titanic shift. And now we can see that Hausa is back, leaving me with this troublesome thought: where in all this is my own president? For where I was born is not where I'm from, and where I'm from is not my home. So when the tribes gather, I often wonder, who will I fight when you're both my brothers? Nobody asked when we were children, before we play, are you a Muslim? We shared a space that nobody claimed, but now you ask me to choose a side. When we were students, nobody asked if North and South could share a desk.
All right. So we have Sam Ojo. I can see his smiling face now. You can watch this also. And if you don't have the Nigeria Info app, you can go download on iOS as well as Play Store. Just search Nigeria Info FM, and voila, you are there. Great to have you join us this morning, Sam. I think it's night time over there.
Actually, it's early in the morning, 1 a.m. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very
Good
much.
morning.
And congratulations on the successful presentation of the movie Alejandro that you worked on. And I chose it specifically because I said when we got the topic on the number of movies that have been produced in Nigeria and the doldrums, I said maybe some way we can get some light into what has happening in Nigeria, is to hear what someone over in the United States who's collaborated with Nigerian movie industry can teach us some lessons and get ourselves from them. But before we get to that, the big story which a number of people have been hitting me up on Twitter, and I'm sure you also have been asking and getting reactions from Nigerians in diaspora, I'm sure, with the shock that Nigeria has suspended operations of Twitter. So I can tell you here in Nigeria right now, we don't have access to Twitter via our mobile networks, which is basically more than 90% of what people use to connect to Twitter. So it's interesting times ahead. But let me get your reaction to that.
So I think that is very political, and I would like to correct you a little bit, Aghogho, if you pardon me. It wasn't Nigerians that shut down Twitter in Nigeria. It is the Nigerian government. So Nigerians still want Twitter to be operative in Nigeria. So, but getting into the situation that led to Twitter being shut down, first and foremost, we have to understand that Twitter, as any other company, they have their own policies, procedures, and regulations. So they have on their platform, if someone violates that particular policy and procedure, they have the right to remove any content that they believe within their own thinking that person has violated it, and they have the right to remove it. And that has happened to many other leaders around the world. One of them is President Donald Trump, that everybody knows, and President of Brazil, President Bolsonaro, and President of Venezuela, President Maduro. So they have within their jurisdiction, they can do that. Nevertheless, we have to understand that the president of Nigeria has an obligation of what he has to do as the president of a nation. Nigeria on its own is its own platform. If you come as a company and operate in our country and you do not follow specific procedures and the way of life, and you appear to be very biased, he has the right to shut down such company as well. So in this kind of situation, two elephants are fighting, the grasses are suffering.
Absolutely. Grass is suffering. The majority of users in Twitter in the African continent are Nigerians, and the reactions have been with shock. But very quickly, what's the reaction like been from the Nigerians in the diaspora you've interacted with? What's the reaction like?
Oh, you know, in the US, I live in the US. I can't really say of other places around the globe, but in the US, the competition is really high. So if Twitter doesn't work, we just work around Facebook. If Facebook doesn't work, we look into LinkedIn. If LinkedIn doesn't work, we look to Instagram. We just have to connect with our people at home. So Twitter shutting down is just less of our problem, to be honest. And, you know, in America, everybody is struggling and trying to get attention of the audience. So Twitter being shut down by the government, honestly, Twitter is losing more. Even though I do not really personally think that the president of Nigeria should reconsider his decision about that, for sure, because of the benefit that could give Nigerians. But in the long run, it's actually Twitter that is at loss in this kind of a thing. But I won't blame Twitter because it's their platform. If I come on your page and I did something that is against your policy and procedure, you have the right to shut me down. It's within your jurisdiction. So the president has his own jurisdiction to shut Twitter down too.
All right. These are interesting times. We keep our fingers crossed on this because I know there's still a long journey in this one. And let's see whether the grass will eventually rise and be and be king over the elephants. All right, Sam. So this is big. We talked about the coronavirus and the effect on the movie industry, and we knew the numbers will be bad, but didn't realize how serious this will impact on the country, Nigeria's movie industry. Tell us your own point of view. You found a way around this. You VPN'd your way.
It's Aghogho.
Yes.
I have to be frank with you. It wasn't easy.
Mm.
It's always easy to discuss success when success has actually happened. There are a lot of people that tried what we tried, and they were unable to get even close to what we were able to achieve. Definitely, COVID was a pandemic that affected almost every fabric of our communal, societal living in Nigeria or in the US. But getting a way around it is, I have been in the very high leadership in multinational companies, and we've been trained over the past 20 years that I worked in multinational company as a top leader. The challenge will always come. So in this situation, it was more of a public health challenge. And what I did was to develop a very strong safety operating procedure.
Right.
And I make sure that I communicate. I had a very good communication with the government, with my local government, with the county, with the state, of my intent and how I will need to protect all the cast and crews that will be working on my set. So after that communication, of course, developing my safety procedure was in line with the regulations and the law. It was initially a regulation, but later passed as a law. So I made sure that my safety operating procedure was in line with the local government regulation at that time. So I communicated that appropriately with the right quarter. They were able to look at it, and they were just worried that this is good on the paper. If you can do this on the location,
absolutely,
we will approve the permit. So they graciously, they approved that. They approved my permit to be able to shoot the movie, and we shot it. So nobody, and I'm proud to say that nobody in my crew had COVID. Nobody contacted COVID or died of COVID. And even the vaccination was not even in the limelight like what we had. And we had over 250 people on the set when we were shooting the movie. Yeah.
Wow.
250 people in the United States. That's a large number. Not in Nigeria. Number. In the United States, that's a large number.
Indeed, that's a large number.
It's just like you say in Nigeria, you have over 5,000 people on a location. We have a lot of population in Nigeria, so that's a large number in the US. 250 is a lot.
Yes, and a major problem many of the movie makers here have said is the lack of support from the government. I mean, before now it wasn't even there. They just had to find a way through to make the movies happen, and then the government took the credit, saying that Nigeria was producing the most movies. But if you really dug deep in, there was very little support coming in from the government.
With all due respect,
it's called audio support.
With all due respect, and I grew up in Nigeria, obviously, and many other people. A lot of us did not enjoy anything from the Nigerian government. Not only that, we did not enjoy anything with Nigerian government. Nigerian government does not have this mindset of supporting people to achieve greatness. And that is really something that we need to improve on as a group of people. But if I would be fair on the Nigerian government, they are trying. Honestly, if you look at the amount of some of the resources that we have, if they are not stolen. So if they are not stolen, the resources is still very, very small compared to other resources that we have in the Western world. For example, the total, as at the last time I checked, the total market of Nigerian movie industry in Nigeria is about $649 million. $649 million. That's a tiny money. Even Leonardo DiCaprio is in my city right now shooting a movie, and the budget of that movie is $200 million. A movie that you probably don't even know about. And we have 5 or 6 of that in my own little town in a year. So what are we now talking about? So,
absolutely.
We need to improve on our economic impact. Yeah,
absolutely need to improve. There's the potential, but sometimes when you look at those numbers, you point out it's not really much, but we think it's much until you sort of realize our size and what we can do if we put to good use our strength and resources. It's 99.3 Nigeria Info, Pinpoint. Sam Ojo is an actor, he's a producer, director, activist. I forgot to put that in the first instance. We'll be right back after this. Please stay with us.
The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, a tournament with a difference, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich, and London. The coverage is global, and the cast nationwide.
They seem to keep hold of the ball, see so much of the ball, but at the end of the day, they tend to do little or nothing with the ball.
Floated into the box! It's in! A player who's been having a renaissance after season. He connected to the pass like a socket, fired the shot like a rocket. From no other person but Rafael Varane.
What they want to do is sit back, where your weaknesses, and then when they get the ball, they counter-attack you.
It was a brilliant piece of play by Karim Benzema. But they decided against that counter-attack and go all the way back. That's beautiful! Trent Alexander-Arnold, 38 meters. This is your goal of the week.
When you defend, you can defend for 91 minutes, and just for 1 minute, everything will change.
He completes his hat trick. He's in the pursuit of perfection.
Best days are behind him already, and the young managers have taken up the mantle.
Covering every blade of grass for a full month from 11th June to 11th July 2021 on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 on Nigeria Info. It's live football, just the way you like it.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, Mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. It's simple, John, with Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Just buy 10 Indomitables pack, find the unique code at the back of the pack, go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week.
Promo ends June 2021.
Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting because of the shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
And the winners for the Indomie Eat and Win promo are Mrs. Obi and Davy.
Yes, Mommy, we won! We won!
Yes, we won!
David, you still haven't told me how you won. Simple, John, with Indomie Eat and Win.
Indomie Eat and Win?
Just buy 10 Indomitables pack, find the unique code at the back of the pack, go to www.indomitables.ng and enter your code to win amazing prizes every week.
Promo ends June 2021.
Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
All right, welcome back. It's 29 minutes to 8, and we're making progress. Sam Ojo, actor, director, with us on Pinpoint on 99.3 Nigeria Info, and he's joining us with a full smile from the United States in Oklahoma. Twitter's on fire here beside me. A lot of comments coming in because of the federal government's ban on Twitter in the country. And the reactions are massive, pouring in everywhere. Apparently, a lot of people have gone to download VPNs and are using it to communicate, to go to circumvent the government. It reminds me of when I was in China and I saw Chinese institutions using VPN in Chinese establishments to get to Twitter, to get to Facebook. And I said, so why did your government decide to ban it? And they said, well, we still have to get our information one way or the other. And I said, well, it's your own kettle of fish, not knowing that years later, Nigeria would also be in that sort of situation. But Sam, before we left off, we're talking about the fortunes of the country's movie industry, the potentials which remain largely untapped. And to worsen the situation, the coronavirus pandemic has done havoc, to put it mildly, to the country's movie industry. But you're successful. On the other side of the divide in the United States, you had your movie premiered, 30 cinemas, we understand. We had the governor come to a private screening and commend you. When you compare that sort of support you get,
I said commended me officially. There's
you had the
documentation
governor,
around
you had
that.
the deputy governor, you had high and mighty in Oklahoma come to. So you have the support of state authorities there. You compare and contrast with what you have here. What would you say?
I don't know how much time I have to explain this, but Nigeria has an economic of scale, no doubt about that. We have a large number of people, and that can really propel us to be a very strong voice in the movie market globally. But we have problems. We have a lot of problems. A lot of people in the industry, they walk confidently in their ignorance and do not know exactly many things that they should do in center to move this kind of industry forward. My little experience dealing with some people, I wouldn't say everyone, because some people have really changed the way I think about how many Nigerians are doing it. But some people, like I mentioned earlier on, they walk so confidently in their ignorance, and they don't develop what I would call a meritocratic system. What I mean by that is a system whereby you see a good product and you try to embrace that to help your own country. You see, I will hear people complaining that Buhari is bad, your government is not good. But in your own little way, when you're supposed to do the right thing, you fail to do that. I had a good product that globally is being applauded. There has never been any Nigerian movie producer that has its movie in the US cinema, in a 30 cinemas across US. No one. That is applaudable. And I think it's something that Nigerians, people in the industry should embrace. But they started all their nepotism, the clique kind of a thing, and it's kind of very discouraging because the intent of me trying to collaborate with Nigerian stars is to be able to showcase our culture, our stars, our way of life, and so many other things to the rest of the world without the government paying for it. And I think it's something that the government or the people of Nigeria should embrace. Let me give you an example.
Go ahead.
I have access to few governors in Nigeria. If they want to know me, they can know me and they know what I'm doing. And none of them actually try to recognize what we are doing in the US. But now, if I eventually win Oscar award or whatever, they will be the one to say, "Oh, welcome, great son of our land," and stuff like that.
You need to sow in the field to be able to be part of the harvest. I can imagine. But
exactly. But we don't do that in Nigeria, and it's very worrisome.
Absolutely. And so you say you have your own movie, for example, in 30 cinemas, and that's massive because I'm thinking number of cinemas we even have in the country. That's Nigeria here. And we are trying to get the cinemas back up and running during COVID and post-COVID. Let's just say as the vaccinations have begun, even though we're still a far way compared to what the United States is doing in terms of getting those.
Absolutely.
But
even some of the cinemas.
This is very important in getting the cinemas up and running. I don't know any way around this, but there's got to be a way to get the cinemas up and running because it's a major component of the movie chain.
Yes. So is that a question you have?
Yes, and to share your thoughts because you have your movie in the cinemas already. So I'm wondering how we can get that sort of thing also happening because the movies here, the cinemas here are still not functioning.
Yeah, the regulations of Nigeria and the US or individual states that I worked with, I think they are different, no doubt about that. But in Nigeria, I really don't know how. It's been a long time I left Nigeria, so I really do not know how we will have to get people back into the cinema. I think good products will always attract people back to the cinema, but everything still centers around the government relaxing or people getting vaccination. And once large proportion of people has got that vaccination, then the government can have new rules of maybe congregation. People can congregate, and once we have that, then we can have more people going to the cinema. But even when the economy and everything was going great in Nigeria, how many people are movie goers in Nigeria? People will go to church more before they go to mosque, before they go to cinema. And that is the challenge that we have. Like I mentioned earlier on, a lot of things that we do in Nigeria is for people that have seen other side of the world. We walk so confidently in our ignorance. We really don't know what we are doing, and we're so confident of it, and we say it boldly of what we're doing. And until we start to keep learning and do things the right way, we always, this is not a curse, this is the reality. We always be behind.
Absolutely.
There's no two way about it. I pray for Nigeria. I am in Nigeria and I'm proud of that. But as a country, we need to do things the right way. Any society that does not create a meritocratic system will never create opportunities. And when you don't create opportunities, you will never get the best talent to showcase for anything you want to do. For example, if you have to do a movie and you approach a bank for funding, and because the other guy knows the DMD, even if though he doesn't have a good talent or he doesn't even know the craft very well, but because he knows the MD or the CEO, they approve the loan or the funding. But there is more savvy in what you're doing,
Right.
you don't get it.
Mm.
You won't be able to compete with the international world that creates a meritocratic system in their society.
Absolutely, and it's something for us to think about. Let's take a quick break, Sam, and we'll get back on Pinpoint. We're talking with Sam Ojo, is a movie producer, actor in the United States. Recently premiered a movie which is showing in cinemas in the United States, but not in the country. I'm going to come to that shortly, right after this. You can join the conversation on WhatsApp 0809-597-5805. We're focusing on the country's movie industry, on the backdrop of a report put out by the NBS saying that just 419 movies were produced the first quarter, and this is less than half of what was done during the same period last year. And the report also shows Lagos having the highest number of movies produced for the period on the review, but also shows an industry in the dire straits. Several people are out of work, and the industry is struggling to rebuild structures and find a way around the COVID-19 and practice. Some of them say it's not possible. It's simply impracticable to work in this sort of conditions. Where will they get help from? 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Keep you informed all day long with the best radio programming. From the morning crossfire with Sheriff to What's Up Lagos with Collins, Teke. And at noon, it's the sunny side with Joyce. Let's talk hard facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
I will present a story the way that it was presented.
Femi and the gang bring the game on with day-by-day accounts of magnificent moments in the world of football. And we also keep it live and dangerous with Daddy Freeze. And finally, the chat station. All for your listening pleasure. Your number one station for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All right, welcome back. And I'm going to open the phone lines and so I can get your reactions to what is happening with the country's movie industry. Have you been affected? Do you know people who have been affected? How do we rebuild the structures and get an industry which at some point contributed to Nigeria's GDP when it was rebased, becoming bigger than South Africa because of what it's done for us as a people, and how it's also helped to bring in those numbers, revenue and, fame like you can never imagine that the country's movie industry has done for us, but it's now on its knees, and we seem to not know where the help will come from because the entire chain is facing wahala. 0700 993 993 993. Again, 0700 993 993 on WhatsApp 0809 597 5805. So, as I get to the phone line, Sam, even though the cinemas have suffered, the streaming services appear to have hit a gold mine. But I'm not sure if Nigeria's situation is the same. I don't know what you see from there, but I know one popular CEO of one of the streaming services boasted and said he's not getting his money from the country. And people said, but you made your name from here. And he said, no, my streaming services is outside the country. And they said, but you're streaming Nigerian movies outside the country, and you had the audacity. And they went back and forth. But it just did provide some idea into what is also going with the streaming services like the cinemas, Sam.
Yeah, so streaming is the future, no doubt about that. A lot of people want to stay at home and stream their movie and watch it on their big screen in their home, at home. And a lot of people are kind of skeptical of going back into the theater or the cinema to see. Yeah. The younger generation, let's say from 25, even up to 30 downward, they are internet savvy. They want to download movies and watch it sequentially and so on and so forth. And that is growing in this part of the world, in the Western world, United States, Germany, UK, Australia, China and stuff. But in Nigeria, it's still challenging because even when you want to stream, you still have to pay for data. You still have to pay for maybe subscription from that streaming platform. So you have like 4 hurdles to pass. And that makes it much difficult in Nigeria. Meanwhile, you can pay just for maybe 1,500 naira to have your Go TV, and you can see as much movies that you want to see, rather than say, oh, I want to be on a streaming platform. You pay for that subscription, and then you pay for your data to have the internet to be able to stream it faster. So that is difficult. So Nigerian as a country needs to look into that and find a way of making all this more affordable and put it in the front of people more.
That's the goal. Make it more affordable. Let's see. We got a call in straight away. Hello and good morning.
Chief Oboh, Shakumaku.
Hey, Makushi.
Yala, the Honorable one of Nigeria Info. Quick one. Mr. Sam, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to see you. Good to hear you today again.
Thank you very much.
Tell us your name, so for the benefit of those who are listening, and where you're calling from.
Chief Oboh, my name is Christopher Nwuka.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
So I want to beg Mr. Sam. I'm so happy when I'm hearing all his lectures giving. It's like I'm eating my pounded yam with my white pepper soup. So, Mr. Sam, please, I want to beg you. We need you. You need to do more talking to the people in authority, that is the government, then people in that your own area of your field of operation. I mean the movie industry people, right? Like what you did in U.S. I hear Chief Oboh said, oh, the governor, the who in that state you are, come to attend your program, right? Hello, yes. Chief Sam. Hello, Chief Sam.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear
please,
you.
I want you
if
to do that
Aghogho can reiterate that, that would be better for me too.
Don't give up.
I'm
Don't give up, please. Chief Oboh, relay my message to him.
All right, definitely. Thank you very much. Keep the calls coming in 0700 993 993 993. And then the line for the females, if you want to call in easily, is 01465 7190. So Christopher says that you shouldn't give up the persuasion. You keep talking to those in the industry and see how you can make it work since you were able to get the who is who in the state to go through. So that's something I was asking you also about, Sam. How do they understand? There's a Nigerian culture, there's a Nigerian structure, and every time I'm talking with you, I know you always will go, but you see, they don't understand the Nigerian way. But you're a hybrid, so you know the American way, you know the Nigerian way. Can we find a middle ground?
Absolutely, and I think we can do that, and that's where people like me and other filmmakers that are based in the US or abroad can actually bridge that gap. We definitely can, and that's why a lot of local filmmakers or in Nigeria, successful filmmakers in Nigeria can actually step up the game, because in this part of the society, we try to do things in conformation with other global filmmakers. So I think we can always bridge that gap within the two society. But I have to say this, within the environments that Nigerian filmmakers are working with Omonile and all those crazy things that is going on when you want to shoot a movie, honestly, I give kudos to them. It's not easy. You might be shooting something that we don't experience. We don't even have a generator on site. You have to have that in Nigeria, right? And the noise of
let's take this call.
When you're driving.
Let's take this call, okay. Sam. All right. Do keep the call coming in. I lost that call. 0700 993 993 993. So you're saying the peculiarities. You don't have a generator on set. You don't have to deal with.
We don't have. When you're driving, some people you might be shooting in an active shooting on a movie, and someone just honk. He's just driving and just honk. Now we destroy everything you're doing. We don't honk here. So those are the little challenges that I think Nigerian filmmakers might be experiencing. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they still come out with a very fantabulous product that a lot of online platform will take.
Right, it's a huge market, interesting market, but especially for Nigeria. I mean, if I get South America sometimes, I'm shocked that they love Nigerian movies. They even know the names of the actors, so they do transcribe the movies for them in South America, and vice versa. In Nigeria too, we love the telenovelas also. I see that in your movie, we're able to get the the Mexicans and some of the Nigerian actors to work together. But let's take this call and see. This will be our last call, I think. Yes. Hello and good morning.
Morning, sir.
Great. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Aghogho from Lekki.
All right, Aghogho. Let's do this in a minute.
Yeah. Well, personally, for me, I've reduced the way I watch Nigerian Nollywood movies. So before I used to buy them, as in buy enough. I have almost a Ghana must go. Then we had these great actors then. Although we still have them now, but I feel they are not like the evergreen actors that we used to have back then. So I really don't know what the Nigeria movie, is it the organization? I think they are not really united this time. There's been a lot of division between the bodies involved. This one coming with their own body and their own body, and then there's a problem between them. What are you also doing to help to develop a movie industry in Nigeria also by getting the right people into the right places?
All right. Thank you very much, Aghogho. Aghogho was asking very quickly, Sam, what you're doing to... You have to do this in 30 seconds. How you helping to collaborate with Nigerian artists, actors?
Okay. In my movie, I have a choice of not using Nigerian actors at all or actresses, but I chose to use a very top-notch actors in my movie in center to be able to get a wider audience for these guys, because my movie is global and is acceptable globally with the Mexican actors and the rest.
All right. Thank you very much, Sam Ojo.
Yala, yala.
Yala, yala, all the way. Alejandro, I don't know, we can't watch it in the cinemas here, but probably we'll have to, for the meantime, we'll have to probably go to the United States or go on some streaming device whenever it's available, right?
It's actually available on many streaming platforms. And you guys can request it on Netflix, because I think a lot of people like Netflix in Nigeria. You can go to Netflix and request Alejandro, but it's available in many online platforms. About 1 billion people have access to Alejandro across the globe.
Thank you very much, and do have yourself a great day. And yalla yalla to you. And
yalla yalla.
Thank you very much. The discuss with Jimmy Disu comes up at the top of the hour. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Are you tired of struggling with your finances? Do you need extra money to enjoy the thing?
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.